Okay, here we are for our homework, and our examples were pretty short, but our homework I'm doing quite a few with you, so here we go. Number 1, if you look at this graph, this tells us books read by students. We have Ruby, Jay, Annie, and Shidoshi, and these are the number of books that they have read. So for A, B, and C, we're going to take the information from this graph and answer these questions. And you know what? I'm not going to do A because I think you guys will be able to do that one. I think you can do B. I'm going to do C. So 1C is what I'm doing with you. You have to do, yikes, you have to do A and B by yourself. So 1C says, if the books Annie has read have an average of 160 pages each, how many pages has she read? So we have 160 pages. And it shows that Annie has read 9 books. So average means we are going to multiply. So we're just going to multiply 160 times 9. Now, we can just do 9 times 16, but it doesn't hurt just to do, we just put our 0 there. 9 times 6 is 54, put our 4 there, carry our 5. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14. So our answer then is 1,440, and it's asking for pages. How many pages did she read? Why is that writing so nice and this wouldn't? There we go. So 1C is 1,440 pages. D, 2, I'm not going to do it with you, but remember, penta is how many sides? 5. So that's not your answer, but penta means 5 sides. So you can figure out that that problem. So if she saw pentagons and she saw a total of 100 sides, that's the biggest number you can have. So you can't get any bigger. So you're not going to multiply, then you're going to divide. So figure that out. You guys can do that. So you're going to divide on that one, and remember that penta means 5. Number 3 says Mariah bought a rectangular piece of land that was 3 miles long and 2 miles wide. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this. She bought a land that was 3 miles and 2 miles. 50% of the land could be farmed. How many square miles could be farmed? So only half of it could be farmed. So we have to think, what is half of 3 miles? Well, half of 3 miles is 1.5 miles. And we could just divide it in half. It would still be by 2 miles. So I'm going to put 1.5. Have we multiplied decimals? You could multiply decimals, and I think you can also find the square miles by finding the area, and that's just dividing that in half. So let's go ahead and do that. So for area, you just go ahead and multiply the 2 sides. So 3 times 2 equals 6. So it'd be 6 miles, 6 square miles is the total area. But they can only use half of it. So this, not usable. So they can only use half. Half of 6 is 3 square miles. And let me make sure that is correct, so I'm not giving you the wrong information. That is correct. Awesome. Did it correctly. Cool. So find your answer first, and then you can find half. 50% is half. Alrighty. Number 4 is next. It says Max bought 10 pencils for 24 cents each. The tax was 14 cents. what was the total cost of the pencils? Now remember, we got to do two things. So first we have to add the tax to our total. So, well, I guess we could figure out our total first because it doesn't say the tax was 14 cents per pencil. So first we're going to figure out how much she paid without tax because tax is always added at the end. So we're going to do 24 times 10, which we did earlier in our examples. We can just add the 0 to the end, right? So we have 240. And remember, with money, we go 1, 2 place values for our decimal. So the total for those 10 pencils were $2.40. Then we have to add our tax. So 4 plus 0, 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. Bring down that decimal. And she paid $2.54 for those pencils plus tax. And, yep. Okay, on to the next page. Just on number 5, again, I'm not going to do number 5 with you, but remember ounces is like this piece of paper is like 1 ounce. So a piece of paper is about 1 ounce. 2 liters, liters I think is just L. That's like the liter bottles of soda that you get that are about like that big. Gallons are, you know, those big jugs of milk that you get? That's a gallon. It's pretty heavy. So if you had 2 of those, you got 2 jugs of milk, and that's quite a lot. And remember that cups, I don't know how really to explain a cup, but hey, I've got this cool cup. It's a little dusty, but this is a little bit more than like a cup of, like a measuring cup. So if you had 2 of these, would that be a full pitcher? If you had if it weighed about 2 pieces of paper, would that be a pitcher? If it weighed about 2 gallons of milk, would that be a pitcher? Or if it weighed like 2 of those bottles of soda. So that's to help you on number 5. Number 6, I'm not going to do with you, but if you don't remember what perpendicular or triangle with perpendicular sides is, right underneath number 6, it says to look at lessons 78 and 23, but I'm going to say look at 78 first, and that will, I think, help you more. So number 6, if you're having trouble, look at lesson 78. All right, number 8A says 1,000 fans attended the game. So we have 1,000 fans attended the game, but only 81 fans cheered for the visiting team. What fractions of the fans who attended the game cheered for the visiting team? So we have a total of 1,000 fans and only 81 fans. Wow, that's not very much. 81 fans cheered for the other team. So we are going to, oh, it says what fraction. Awesome. We're just going to put how many total there were. So how many fans total? 1,000. And how many cheered? 81. So our fraction is 81 thousandths of the fans were cheering for the other team. Not very many, which is understandable if you're their visiting team. Letter B says write the answer in part A as a decimal number, then use words to name the number. So again, we have to put, it has to go in these 3 place values. So we have 0, point, and then our place values. So we have 1, 2, 3 place values for our thousandths, because it's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. And remember, this number all the way on the right starts all the way on the right. So we put our 1 there, our 8 there, and then we have a 0, because 0 is nothing. So this is how we write it as a decimal. If it helps to write your place values, do that. I think it might help you to do your tenths, hundreds, and thousandths. And then always remember the far right number has to go in the far right space. Okay, and the bottom tells you how many spaces. So then in words, if I said this is 88 thousandths, or sorry, 81 thousandths, that's just how I'm going to write it. 80 hyphen 1 thousandths. And I just underline the THS to put emphasis on that ts. Alrighty. Next one I'm doing is number 26. 26 says Luz, maybe it's Luz, wants to cover a floor with tiles. Which of these tile shapes will not tessellate or will not completely cover the floor? Now then, lesson 82 is where that's from. So we have a triangle. Whoops, terrible triangle. We have a square. So this is A, B. We have a pentagon. Well, there's a little different than that. Wow, that's a terrible pentagon, but there we go. And an is that an octagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, hexagon. So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexagon. Now, if you remember in lesson 83, it said that triangles and quadrilaterals will always tessellate. So they will always make a pattern. So triangles, 3 sides, and quadrilaterals, which means 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, will always tessellate. So it can't be those. Now we're left with these two. And if you remember in those pictures, we have, if we put another one, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yikes, 6. That's terrible. But, oops. We can make like this nice honeycomb pattern with that. This one, let's see if I did 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. We have this empty space here that can't really be filled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't tessellate nice and evenly. So this makes a nice honeycomb, but C, so that's not it. And it's always going to be even. C doesn't translate as well, because these, you can always turn them and make a nice pattern. Same with this. This is what honeycomb looks like. So if you've ever seen that honeycomb pattern, this is kind of like a soccer ball, I think, but it doesn't work well on flat surfaces. So the answer is C. The pentagon will not completely cover a floor, because you can have like an even, it's not going to end up even. You'll have empty spaces. Alright, 27 says the table shows the relationship between meters and centimeters. So, you know what? Actually, I'm just going to write the thing. So we have 27, we have meters and centimeters. I don't know why I wrote this all out instead of just writing the abbreviation. Meters, centimeters. So 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. 2 meters equals 200 centimeters. 3 meters, 300 centimeters. Let's see, 4 meters, 400 centimeters, and 5 meters equals 500 centimeters. Now A, I'm just going to start A up there, says write a formula to represent the relationship. So that was kind of like example G I did with you. And our formula is going to be meters. So I'm going to put an M times 100 equals centimeters. So meters, whatever meters, times 100 will give you your amount of centimeters. And this is our answer. And let me just write it down so I don't forget when I am fixing your form. So this is that answer. M times 100 equals centimeters. That is our formula. And B tells us to predict. So use your formula to find the number of centimeters in 10 meters. So we're just going to plug that 10 in right there because it says 10 meters. 10 times 100 is going to give us our centimeters. Now what we did today with zeros, we can just, either side, we can take this 0 and add it over there at the end, or we can take these two zeros and add it to the end over here. It doesn't matter because it ends in 1. I'm going to take this 0, add it over there, so I'm going to write my 100 and then add that 0. It's 1,000, so 1,000 centimeters is our answer. Alright, you do not have to do number 30 because I can't see your number line. So no number 30. Let me know if you need help with anything else. Remember, if you think you remember how to do something, you can always go back to the lessons it came from, which is right under the number. So that little number in parentheses, that tells you what lesson it came from. If you're still struggling with division or word problems, let me know and I will help you with those. Hopefully this all makes sense. Let me know if something is not making sense because your test is Friday. So good luck and enjoy your day.